something really weird is going to happen, something really unusual. It's actually going to happen. So really, at the beginning of this week, you are going to have such an unusual, strange and weird and quite mysterious experience. You know, something is going to happen to you that not many people would actually be able to understand you, what you are talking about when you talk about something like this. Only people who are so spiritual and really powerful, because people who are spiritual are really powerful, because Gemininis, you, my gorgeous peopleinis, are extremely spiritual people. You are very sensitive when it comes to this. So your level of understanding when it comes to spirituality, it's like, oh my God, some are completely different. And this is why it's so important for you always to connect and reconnect and hang around as much as you can with the actual people who think like you. This is why this is so important, because this is going to be like, oh my God, this unusual experience that you are going to have, it's going to be so mysterious, it's going to be so unusual, and you are going to feel like you are maybe in some kind of a movie or some kind of a film, but it is going to have something pretty much so unusual attached to it, especially when it comes to like something coming from a completely different dimension that you are going to become aware of. You know, you're not going to be able to ignore this, you're not going to be able to avoid this whatsoever. And there is a very specific reason for that, my gorgeous Geminini, indeed. And the reason for that is that this in itself, it's really kind of going to, when you become aware of this unusual experience, this bizarre experience, this strange, mysterious experience, you know, first of all, you know, you are naturally going to be thinking about, your natural response is going to be like, oh my God, this is so weird. But then few moments later, just few moments later, this is actually going to suddenly make you aware of exactly what do you need to let go of. And when you become aware of what exactly do you need to let go of, my gorgeous Geminini, at that moment in time, you are going to have a completely different perspective. You are going to have a new perspective. You know, especially when it comes to you, like kind of understanding that there is something that you need to release, there is something that you need to sacrifice, and you are going to see this in a completely different light, because this is the deep insight that is actually going to come through this experience that you may not even understand or realize straight away. So first of all, it's going to start with you understanding like what do you need to get rid of, what do you need to kind of like a sacrifice, but at the same time, why are you going to become aware of this? Because also at the same time, my gorgeous Geminini, it's about you realizing, oh my God, like some kind of opportunity here, you know, that is really gonna bring so much happiness and joy and optimism into your life. I mean, you will know exactly what I mean. I suppose, you know, I should have said, like, as soon as you become aware of this something mysterious, you know, at that moment in time, a few moments later, I suppose first of all you're going to become aware of some kind of opportunity, and this opportunity that you're actually going to become aware of instantly, you're going to feel some kind of happiness and optimism, and then you're going to become aware of, like, I should have said in that way, sorry, and then you're going to become aware of like what do you need to let go, because this is all bringing you the actual new perspective on something that you need to move on from, something that you need to move away from, but you have to be honest with yourself. So far it was very difficult, because this is going to require certain changes indeed, but then this is now going to bring so much clarity into your life indeed. And the fact that you are going to be having conversation with someone who you really going to like, you're going to connect to that person. There is someone at the beginning of this week that is really going to make your heart flutter, my gorgeous Gemini, somebody very gorgeous, very gorgeous you're going to be speaking to, and that person is going to be gorgeous to you, not only because of the way they look on the outside, but it's a lot to do from the inside as well. You're going to be talking about something you're going to be intensely talking about something really, really specific, and you're going to connect to that person so much, but then you're going to realize that you are sharing some kind of experience, something very, very unique, and this is going to be such a powerful and bonding moment in between you and somebody else. And you are, yes, you are going to find that person really gorgeous on the outside as well. My gorgeous Gemini, what you're going to be up to? No, I'm joking. You're going to find this person really gorgeous, you know, but then again, that person, it's somehow through that person you're going to understand, you know, what you really love about your life, what you really love about yourself, what you really love about your life. You know, that person is really kind of gonna bring this powerful energy into your life, and it's like more about how much is this person going to inspire you, because it's going to be highlighted within yourself how much you like certain things, but maybe you haven't done much about it. So this person is really going to play an important spiritual role where you are going to understand that you need to get your life back on track. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying something is wrong with your life, but there is something that you're really gonna need to work on, and it's to do with this blockage that did actually cause things to kind of slow down for you over the last few months, only because you haven't been honest with yourself. There is something that you're persistently doing, bless your heart, and I'm not blaming you, I'm not saying you're horrible or anything, but something in your life has come to an end, like clearly has come to an end, and you haven't been moving away from it. So you need to be honest with yourself what this is, because you know, the sooner you move on from that as well, you know, the sooner you are actually going to be happy. You have found yourself being in a little bit of circle where, you know, you're doing things, and but then again at the same time you came to that part of your life where you're almost like aware of what do you need to do, but then at the same time you're just kind of like you haven't got enough power or self-esteem or courage to actually take that on. So this is why this is so important for you to understand, because it's like a basically, you know, it's important, you know, because otherwise, you know, if you're not following your intuition, you know, you could very, very easily go for a really bad choice. And this is something that, you know, it's going to come in form of the actual temptation also at around the beginning of this week. You're also like, I think you're reconnecting with people this week. Yes, you're reconnecting a lot with people this week as well. So this is another like maybe 2 or 3 people that you're going to come across, and you're going to try to do something. You're going to be thinking about making some kind of a choice, and there are going to be few people around, and then suddenly you're going to feel something. Oh my God, something is not right here. There are going to be people around who lack integrity. There are going to be people around who are like kind of very selfish. There are going to be people around you who are very kind of negative, dark in terms of energy, and you are going to be able to feel this. Yet again, Gemini comes through, comes forward. Your psychic intuition is going to come forward, and it's going to kind of make you aware of not making a bad choice. And I hope this is not too confusing. This in itself is going to happen a couple of days after you become aware of this opportunity for happiness. For example, just a couple of days later, after this moment in time, you're going to find yourself being surrounded by 2 or 3 people maybe, and you will be thinking about making a certain choice. And this is something really personal. You're going to be thinking about making a certain choice, but then suddenly you're going to become aware of this dark and negative energy. Something is not going to seem right, and you are going to become aware of people lacking integrity around you. So these are going to be your important signs, and not to ignore, my gorgeous Gemini, but not to make, these are going to be your signs, and not to ignore this, and not to make a choice, something very personal. It's a personal choice that you're going to be making, but don't make a choice when your intuition is telling you absolutely no. And sometimes it depends. If we are really stressed and we don't feel okay, we feel unwell for whichever reason, we just sometimes kind of ignore these subtle things, you know, that are coming out of us in terms of like vibration, to kind of stay away from certain people. It can happen very easily if we are really stressed, or if we are dealing with so many different things and issues at a time. You see what I mean? It can affect you. So this is why you have to remain grounded and centered indeed. Okay, so this is why this is so important, because, you know, you don't want to make a bad choice. You don't want to make a negative choice, you know, and maybe because at the time you are going to feel a little bit emotionally manipulated. This is why you need to remain even more kind of strong, if you understand what I mean, because this is all like only a few days after that moment in time, you know, you're really going to have such a nice surprise. Just few days after that moment in time, you're going to have such a nice surprise where you are really kind of going to realize that there is something that you need to learn. There is something that is missing. There is some kind of knowledge that is missing. There is some kind of subject. You're going to become aware of this subject, you know, it's going to come in the form of the actual subject that you actually want to learn so much about. Just few days after that moment in time, you're going to become aware of this subject where you will want to learn so much about, and it's going to be screaming at you. It's like, oh my God, now suddenly, just suddenly, completely out of the blue, you're not going to be able to ignore this whatsoever. And why? This subject, oh my God, I need to read more, I need to find out more. You're going to feel something in your soul, in your spirit. It's like, oh my God, this is your destiny calling, baby. This is your life purpose calling, baby. This is important. This is just, oh my God, so significant, because it's not only about you plunging in and learning about this subject, but where this is going to take you. Because by you just plunging into it, you're already planting very, very important spiritual seeds. Okay, spiritual seeds are already well planted when it comes to karma. So that means that this is to do with like something way deeper than that. So all you need to do is just start kind of reading about that subject, and that in itself is going to lead towards you really kind of like at the same time, you know, like doing something which is going to bring you a huge reward, massive reward in the future. And when I say future, already in 7 months time, you're going to be like, oh my God, on a completely different like level, within a completely different dimension. Okay, this is how quickly things are indeed going to be really unfolding for you. And also, you know, when it comes to the mid part of this week, you know, it's just like you have to be again honest with you. My God, this is so much about being honest with yourself, you know, almost as if you have found yourself being surrounded by the wrong person, you know, or maybe your spiritual journey with somebody else is slowly but surely coming to an end, you know, and there is someone, you know, there is someone that is actually causing you some kind of a heartbreak here. You know, and it's like, oh my God, I've seen this few times, you know, when it comes to you, my gorgeous Gemini, there is something that is causing you heartbreak here. And it's either you are, it's very difficult to explain, but it's either you are with someone who's like, oh God, you know, like maybe not the right person for you, and you're already aware of this, or maybe you've just been by yourself for so long, and now you're just like kind of really ready to kind of do something about it. So you really have to find yourself where you are at and do something about it, because this in itself, it's really kind of creating a bit of an emotional pain and suffering, you know, and this is why you can do something about it, and it's important to kind of like a really not to ignore this, you know, not to prolong things unnecessarily. For example, if you're with someone and then you're unhappy, you need to kind of come to the bottom of this why. And then on another hand, if you have been single for so long, you know, maybe this is a time for you to kind of find someone, you know. So it really depends where you are at your spiritual journey, and that's how you will know what do you need to do about it. So it's all about moving on, you know, whichever direction this is, but it's important to just keep going with this particular flow. But also worth to mention that you are going to feel very strong when it comes to this week spiritually, and you're going to surprise yourself how you are going to be thinking about certain things that have been making you so dark for so long. You're going to be thinking about them in a completely different light already this week. So this in itself is going to make things much clearer for you in terms of clarity, of course, especially when it comes to you realizing and understanding slowly but surely there is a massive, huge, giant, big mama light at the end of this tunnel indeed. And this tunnel was rather dark, my gorgeous Gemini. And also when it comes to the midweek, you know, your courage, I like this. I like it. Do you know, I like this. It's lots of courage and passion. you know, and power. It's going to come from the actual restriction, from this restriction that you are going to become aware of, this bloody restriction, this restriction that you're going to become aware of. It's something that was restricting you for so long. This restriction that you are fully going to become aware of here at around the time when you realize, at around the midweek, you know, you are going to be thinking about something, how you need to manage your resources wisely and things like that, you know, and nothing bad about it whatsoever. You're just going to be thinking about something, you're just going to be planning about something, and you're going to be thinking how you about managing your resources or whatever. You're going to be thinking how you need to manage your resources wisely and things like that. It's fine. You're just going to be in a mode for planning, you know, and then at that moment in time you're going to realize something that's what exactly is restricting you to do better, to do so much more. What's holding you down, my gorgeous Gemini? And that restriction that you're going to become aware of here, that is going to be absolutely obvious. It's going to work so beautifully when it comes to power, strength and control coming back into your life through your own courage and passion. I mean, this is absolutely brilliant. You know how excited you're actually going to feel over something that was like scaring you and making you feel negative and making you feel unhappy for so long. You are going to like really have this conclusion here, which is indeed gonna make you feel like you want to celebrate and you want to connect and reconnect with the people in your life who are like the best in your life, you know, like who mean to you the most. And this is so important, because you know the reason why you're gonna feel like you want to celebrate, it's not only about a restriction that you're gonna become aware of what was restricting you, but you're also at the same time gonna become aware of like maybe, you know, that somebody's dishonesty, that it's going to also play an important role in all this, somebody's dishonesty. And almost as if you're going to feel so pleased and happy that somebody was so dishonest with you, because now you are, this is going to be like your green light, how much you want to move on with your life and how much you want to turn the new page as well. So this is why this is going to be so important. This is on one hand going to all lead towards you saving money, okay, towards you saving money, my gorgeous Gemini, but at the same time you are going to align yourself with your personal values. I mean, how important is that? And then just a couple of days after that moment in time, you're going to be overwhelmed by choices that you're actually going to have, and it's more about the energy and passion and you feeling so inspired, but also at the same time there is some kind of adventure that you are going to have on your mind, something that you wanted to do in so long as well. Now it's going to be like, you know what, I need to do this, I need to do this, it's important. By the time you get to the last part of this week, you know, it is like a lot about you becoming suddenly aware of, like, you know, what you're going to become suddenly aware of, how much, my God, Gemini, this week is going to be so deep and it's going to be very complex, because now again here at around the end of the week, you know, you are going to become suddenly aware of that, you know, and completely out of blue, you're going to become suddenly aware of that there's something very challenging. It's like something that was challenging you for so long. It's like slowly but surely coming to an end, and things are about to start looking up for you, and this in itself is going to bring such a welcome relief into your life, because now, only now, you're going to start finding your way to a very peaceful place on the spiritual journey. And this is really pretty much so going to mark the end of some kind of depression, okay? I mean, you know, like when I say depression, you know, it's, yeah, basically, yeah, something, you know, that was making you feel sad for way too long. And this is going to make you feel so good, because at the same time, this is a lot like about almost as if like you were waiting for this to come to an end, you know, like this is almost became, you've been waiting for this for so long that now you're seeing this as a big wish actually coming true. So this is what this sudden awareness is actually going to you know, bring into your life, which is instantly going to put you in the actual mode of the like a contemplation, and something very, very wise is gonna come to you when you go into this mode of contemplation, you know. So you're gonna like kind of go into this hermit mode, because oh my god, this is really gonna throw you out of balance in a good way. But once you go into this hermit mode, then at the same time you are going to have this like very much so an interesting idea. And this idea, it's like, oh my god, this is why the hermit modes are so important, because we just go deep within ourselves and we go into this deep thinking mode. We need to kind of be by ourselves for just a little while, but there is a very specific reason for it, because you dive so deep and you just like use so much power when it comes to your third psychic eye, and when it comes to your subconscious mind, it all kinds of takes over, and you have all sorts of realizations, solutions, and most importantly ideas, because there is this idea that you are going to have, and this idea that you're going to have, you need to understand it's a lot to do with unlimited possibilities. It's a lot to do with a new beginning. It's a lot to do with a new start, and it's a lot to do with something that is like kind of going to require from you to trust in life, but at the same time this is going to bring so much pleasure into your life, my gorgeous Gemini. This is absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's time to come out of yourself. It's time to come out of your comfort zone. It's time to realize how gorgeous you are, how powerful you are. This is so important, my gorgeous Gemini, because that in itself, it's also going to create something magical in this world, which is gonna help you to attract the right people and the right situations into your life as well. This is so important. You need to understand how powerful you are. You need to understand how unique you are. You need to understand how beautiful you are, and keep on repeating this throughout this week. And you need to believe this, not only repeat this, but you need to believe this, and you will see you're gonna start attracting magical opportunities and really powerful people into your life as well. Okay, my gorgeous Gemini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.